All right. I think this is our last class on cooking for health. Disease fighting foods. I think due to limited time, we could not manage to do as much demonstrations as we wish we could. Because usually cooking class, and I'm sure most of you have participated in those cooking classes, it will need a whole day, isn't it? If you have to do it properly, you actually need most of the times when you're doing cooking classes in the church, we would rather do it on Sunday, and it has to be a Sunday where you don't have any other program after that. Because once you start cooking, you have to cook until everything is cooked, and then you have to eat what you have cooked. So to do it normally and properly, it actually requires the time that we don't have in this seminar. So basically, we are more like sharing ideas of what we can do. But what we'd like you to understand more is the principles of cooking. And of course, we want you to understand more also the medicinal part of it. Now, when they say let food be your medicine, one of the things that people always will talk about, it's a breakthrough, but they're not real breakthroughs. They're things that maybe they were there, but we only discovered them late. Because I remember there was a study, they were studying some twins in the USA, identical twins, which it means they were born with the same DNA, similar features and everything. Their life came from the same cell. But they discovered that even though these two boys were identical twins, just by living different lifestyles, they were looking different. Another one was strong and healthy, another one was obese and had lifestyle diseases. Now, the people are trying to argue that if it is true that genetics are a reason why people get lifestyle conditions, how come these identical twins, they don't seem to have the same complications? Then they said, no, this genetic thing that we talk about, it's just a weakness that one can have. And the main trigger is the way we live. Because this other identical twin was drinking alcohol, smoking, and doing everything, and he was in poor health. While the other one who looked after his health, he was looking very good and very healthy, and yet they had the same, similar genetic makeup, if you may call it that way. And I think is it 16 years ago, it's when they came up with this thing that they call nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics. It simply means very simple things. Nutrigenetics simply means what you eat has the power to influence your genes, and nutrigenomics means your genes can influence what you eat. So based on that discovery of nutrigenetics, and if you go and Google and find more or study more about nutrigenetics, you are going to discover that what you eat has the power to suppress weak cells that you are born with. For example, they found out that if you eat okra, kale, and the equivalent in Malawi is amaranth, bonongwe, it can actually suppress the genetic weakness of diabetes. And maybe that's why okra water is very good when a diabetic patient is taking it, they benefit more from it. And some of the foods that we eat, and basically generally they found that most of the plant-based foods, and even better when they are grown organically, they have a potential to switch off these weaknesses in your DNA. So that actually explains a lot that, genetic is not really, we are not victims of our genetics, but if we feed the weakness, If you feed those weak genes with a bad lifestyle, with a bad food, with a junk food, then you become a victim very soon because you don't have the natural resistance that some people have or the natural endurance that some people may have. So when it now coming to using food as medicine, all we are trying to do is giving the body the right raw materials. And to do that, it starts by growing your own food. Because when you depend on super or local market foods, everything today has become very commercial. And lots of chemicals are sprayed on cabbages and all these other things, of which you want to eat less and less of those things that are coming from the market and eat more and more from your garden. And to have your garden, you don't need a farm. To feed the family, you don't need a farm. Even a small place that one is living in town, you can grow a wider variety of vegetables. If you are renting, you can plant them in buckets or whatever if there are things that they have to stay for so long, like the strawberries and other things. But growing your own food and making sure that what you eat is at least 70% organic. It's impossible to have 100% organic. There'll still be time when you find yourself stuck somewhere where you have to eat, not from your home. But at least at your home where you make choices of what to eat the healthiest foods possible. And that is actually the principle of healthy eating. It's not always possible and practical for you to have the perfect diet everywhere you go. And all of us were exposed to moments where you have to compromise a bit. Not so much, but you compromise a bit. But you see, the body is impacted by your lifestyle, what you do every day. It can survive some events, but not lifestyle. So it's better we look into it that way, that at your home, where you can manage to have brown rice, make sure you do your best to have brown rice. Make sure you have all the healthy stuff around you. And then how you cook your food is also very important. There are a number of methods of that people are using today on cooking food, but the good ones are very few, because the good ones is steaming, boiling, and baking. I don't know toasting if it is also called baking, but those are actually the good ones. But the moment you fry, you braai, you microwave, you're actually damaging your health. So even the food that is very healthy, as in Irish potato, high in potassium, good for stomach acids and everything, but you make chips from Irish potato, it will do completely the opposite. It will damage the body. So cooking starts with the methods of cooking, and then the methods of cooking. You cannot accomplish much if what you have at home is just pots and frying pan. You are already limited as to what you may cook, and it becomes very easy to get tired of eating the same things every day. That's why, before you can consider upgrading your phone, consider buying a blender, a coffee grinder, waffle maker, juice maker, sandwich maker. Those things, they help you really to enjoy a wide variety of dishes at home. Because the pots and frying pan, they do two things, frying and boiling. And it means the only thing that you can eat at home is something that has been fried, something that you have boiled. And the human tongue is designed to enjoy different flavors. That's why when you see a pizza, it is interesting, but you also need to know that you can make an alternative of even the good things that are there. Like cassava, we have just learned. I think we learned it last year when it was hard to find wheat everywhere. I think it was the beginning of the Ukraine war. I don't know where they're getting wheat now because the war is still there. But the beginning of last year, you could go to Nzuzu every Sunday, you could not find whole wheat flour. So it's when we discovered that, the cassava flour, you can also bake anything that you do with wheat. You can also do with cassava flour. You can make chapati, you can make bread, you can make muffins. And when the ladies discovered that they can do that at home, we said, I think the Russians can keep their wheat. We don't need it here in Katabi, we have cassava. Because cassava really can do all those wonders that anything that wheat can do. You can even make a crust for pizza with cassava flour. Of course, you bake the cassava, you cook some cassava, you mix it with the flour, you blend it, and you make a good crust that you can use to make pizza. So eating nice food, healthy food, or delicious food that is healthy encourages people to live a healthy lifestyle. And this week we are supposed to talk about, how do you prepare foods for those who are very, very sick. So since today we are concluding, I want to share more of the foods for detox, because whether someone has cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, the most important thing, the basic treatment you can give to everybody is detox. And I've heard so many people, I'm detoxing. I want to ask a question, what is detox? When you people say you are detoxing, what do you mean? Getting rid of toxins, yes, that's true. Getting rid of toxins. So people, they talk about we are detoxifying. I am on a detox. And we speak as if it's something, to boast about. But here's the thing. Your body is designed to detox every day. So your liver, the organ that you have here, is your detox organ. And every day it is busy detoxing. So detoxing is not necessarily something that you do. It is something that the body already do. But what we do, or what we call detox, we simply promote that physiology. We simply make it more efficient. Because what happens in the liver, think of a filter in the car. If you're driving a car, it gets to a point where the filter is full of what? Dust, isn't it? So it fails to filter the petrol properly, isn't it? And you may have, those kind of problems that you have to go to the mechanic, they remove the filter, and they clean it. Now, this liver, which is your filter, if I am exposed to, I'm just living and eating and drinking, and I'm inhaling toxins from the environment, from the food, and years are going by, it reaches a point where the detox organ itself, it needs to be cleaned just the same way we clean the filter of the car. Now, the filter of the car, you remove it and you clean it, but you don't need to do that with your liver. You can say, hey, I want to detox. Let's remove the liver. Where's the knife? We clean the liver. The liver, God designed it with a mechanism that it can cleanse itself. All you need is to give it the raw materials that it uses to cleanse itself. It's a self-healing organ. So all you need is to ingest something through your mouth that will help that liver to flush out all the toxins, cleaning that filter. And when that filter is cleaned, it will continue doing its work of purifying the blood. In fact, I think I shared with some of you that, the time when they were teaching us in nutritional medicine, they were saying that if you meet a patient and you don't know the cure for the disease they are suffering from, just clean the liver. When you have done that, you have given them 50% of the cure. Because the liver purifies the blood, and the pure blood heals the body. So I remember I once applied that principle. I met a patient in Pretoria. She had a condition that I've never heard about it. I've never seen it before. And the reason why she had to call me is because she already went into a lot of hospitals and she got tired of getting medication and not getting better. So when I met her, I told her that, look, this condition that you're mentioning, even the diagnostic name from the hospital, the most complicated one, I think it was a specialist who did that. I told her I've never heard about this before. It's my first time. But there's only one thing that I know. If you cleanse the liver, you may get better. So I showed her how to purify the liver, and she went home. She did it for 1 month. Her disease disappeared. So when she recovered, even me, I was also in a shock because it was really quite a terrible disease. Even until that time, I never knew the cure. Even her, she also never knew the cure. But she just recovered miraculously. So this is the condition that was resisting all medication, but just by cleaning the liver, she got better. So this is the principle I want to share with you, because you are going to have a sister, a brother, or somebody, or even yourself, with the conditions that are not responding to medication, and you really want to help and you don't know what can you do. So the secret is to cleanse the liver. How do you do that? Now, some people, they think, oh, I need to fast for 21 days, Daniel fasting. But the best fasting is not necessarily like you skip eating meals, because for the liver to detoxify, it needs energy. So when you completely go on a water fast, you are not cleansing the liver, it actually becomes more toxic. So the best cleansing is to give the liver energy, and the energy helps the liver actually to do its job much better. At the same time, you lessen the pressure, you lessen the duty of the liver that it does from day to day. Now, all the foods that you eat, food that is a burden to your liver, it's protein and fat. These two things, the liver works so hard to metabolize them. So the work of metabolizing protein and fat costs the liver a lot of energy. So when you want to cleanse the liver, you want to kind of depriving yourself from those things, because they demand a lot of energy from the liver, and when the liver is working so hard, it cannot heal itself. So you want to focus on the nutrients that the raw material that the liver uses to cleanse itself. So I'll mention the nutrients and also mention where you get them. Number one, what helps to cleanse the liver is beta carotene. Beta carotene, you get it from carrots, from pumpkins, from butternut, from yellow sweet potato, mbata yofingati. This is where you get beta carotene. Now, the other nutrient that you need is magnesium. The liver uses magnesium to detoxify. Magnesium, you get a good concentration from it from pumpkin leaves, from sweet potato leaves, from amaranth, bonongwe, also from blackjack, and also from moringa leaves. You get a good concentration of calcium and magnesium. In fact, here in Malawi, you don't need to buy calcium and magnesium supplements, because the calcium and magnesium that you get from pumpkin leaves, sweet potato leaves, and amaranth bonongwe is by far more superior than the one that you get from the tablet. In the USA, where their vegetables are genetically modified and useless, they need supplements, but not here in Malawi. So what you need here, have a feast of bonongwe if you want to get calcium and magnesium. And people that have learned to believe that you get calcium from milk, but the calcium from the dark green vegetables is of high quality than those that come from milk. On that, there's no one who can advertise, go and eat pumpkin leaves. You never see that kind of advert on TV. because they can't make money because they know you have the pumpkin leaves at your back of your yard. So they cannot advertise what you have. They have to advertise what you can buy from them. Then the other thing that the liver also needs to detox, it needs a lot of iron, but that iron needs to be in a hemoglobin formula. So what does that mean? You get a lot of iron from beetroot, you get iron from sunflower seeds, you get iron from also vegetables like curry, pumpkin leaves, spinach. But when for you to convert the iron that you get from beetroot, from all these things, you can also get iron from avocado leaves, you can get iron from fig leaves. But for you to convert that iron into hemoglobin, you need vitamin C. That's why it's good to squeeze lemon. This is why hibiscus is excellent, because it already got vitamin C in it. That's what makes it sour when you're drinking hibiscus. It's like a combination of beetroot and lemon. But if you're having beetroot salad, make sure you squeeze a lemon into it so that you can convert the iron in the beetroot into hemoglobin. Because the body does not use organic iron, it uses hemoglobin. And that's what detoxifies the liver. And then the other nutrients that you need to detoxify the liver, you need zinc and selenium. Zinc and selenium, you get it from the seeds. You get lots of zinc from pumpkin seeds. You may also get it from chia seeds. You may get it from flax seeds. But selenium, you get more from sesame seeds. It is one of the richest sources of selenium. So those things, they help you to get zinc and selenium, which also helps to flush out the liver. And another nutrient that the body uses, the liver uses to cleanse itself, is vitamin B complex, especially vitamin B6, which is rich in brown rice. This is why brown rice is key when it comes to liver cleansing. It is the richest source of vitamin B6, which is, when you combine that with zinc, it becomes a powerful cleanser for the liver. And of course, vitamin B12, the liver always have reserves of it. That's why it's not critical when you are trying to detoxify the liver. You need to live a life without B12 for a longer period of time to deplete it. It's a critical vitamin. That's why in God's wisdom, we always have a reserve that we can use for a longer period of time. Apart from those, when you're now trying to detox, what do you do? When it comes to the vegetables, because you want more magnesium, more calcium, and more potassium to flush out the toxins, there are people who opt to juice. Now, what do you do when you juice? When you juice, you flush out more toxins at the same time. And sometimes you flush out more than what your kidneys can handle. So when that happens, you poison the body even more. When you are doing juicing, you have to do enema. That's the principle of trying to detox using the juices. Because the juices will help you to flush more toxins within a short period of time. But don't go for juicing detox without doing enemas. Because when you are doing that, you are just flushing poison from the liver, and that poison will just poison the body again. You need to create an outlet. But if you are not doing enemas, eat the solid foods, because they detoxify the liver, but in a gentle way. So you still accomplish the same thing. It will just happen at a slow pace. So I'll give you now examples of the real life. For example, if you are having now lunch, you have lunch with the vegetables. So you're removing the beans, the protein, as we have said, and you are removing the fats. You just have brown rice and vegetables. you know, you are going to achieve that thing that we are talking about, but it will be happening at a slow pace, but it is still happening. That's why you can detox just by having rice and vegetables. You just change the broccoli, the cauliflower, the bonongo, the whatever for breakfast. Lunch also brown rice and vegetables. You just change the vegetables, but you make sure breakfast you have lunch and your second meal is also brown rice. But you are just changing the vegetables and you are throwing some. You grind some nuts, some seeds, not nuts, because the nuts you get the fat. They are hard to digest, but you use only the seeds. You grind them and you sprinkle them on your vegetables, and you do that for at least 10 days. Excellent if you do it for 14 days, and wonderful if you do it for 21 days. But don't do it beyond 21 days without taking a break, because at the end of the day, the body you may also deplete the body of the reserves for other essential nutrients that the body also needs. 14 days at max is actually the best to flush the liver. So in summary, brown rice and vegetables, the way I was mentioning it, and the seeds, that's what we use to clean the liver. Brown rice, vegetables, and seeds. That's what we use. 2 meals a day, 6 hours apart, and water in between. Then the sour fruits, like the fruits that you can use. Why we also don't use sugar. Sugar is also very taxing to the body, because the more glucose the liver has to convert it into fat. So it's best you keep it to brown rice, vegetables, and the seeds. So my wife, she's going to do a demonstration and of some of the, I think, the local grains that we have. And I think in a situation where the brown rice is not there, you can also use the sorghum, but you cook it as rice, not as ugali, not as insima, but you cook it as rice. So you can just boil the sorghum until you can eat it as rice. And the vegetables are just so many. Some of them that we usually don't eat, like this one, which she's going to show us. It's actually also very known to detoxify the liver, but it also lowers your blood sugar as well. So detox in general prepares the body to start healing itself naturally. So it doesn't mean the other treatments are not needed. They can always be applied according to knowledge, according to what you know, or according to what your therapist or doctor know. But treating the liver is really one of the primary things you can do when you are trying to treat any chronic condition. So as they are setting up, are there any questions, any comments? Oh, enema. How can I explain it a bit?
Enema is a process whereby you want to cleanse the colony. So you need a water bottle, or sometimes they use this. What do you call the ones which you sleep with?
The sleeping bottle.
The sleep. What do you call it? Hot water bottle. Some they convert a hot water bottle. They will put a pipe, and then they will put a nozzle. So you put your water in the hot water bottle, and then you let it run, and you put the nozzle in the anus, and then you let the water go through into the large intestine. Is this the large intestine, the colony? And then after some minutes, the nature will tell you that there's something. Go and flush it out. So then you go to the toilet and you expel everything that was in it. So you can use garlic, you can use coffee. Coffee is good. Coffee, you use coffee enema, it's very good when it comes to clean the colony. You can use garlic, or you can just use warm water to clean up the colony.
There are some pharmacies that do sell what they call enema kit. But if you can't find the enema kit, you can do a DIY one. That's the one she was mentioning, a hot water bottle. Then you use that pipe that they use at the hospital for making a drip. Like even the drip bag, can also be used for enema. So you fill the drip bag with water, and then you just put that pipe through the anus, and things will happen. Why using coffee? The coffee that we use, it's the coffee seeds. You grind them in a coffee grinder, and you mix them with a little bit of warm water. So the coffee helps to suck all the poison, but it also softens all the stools that are solid in your colon. So they become liquid, and they will come out very quickly. Yes.
Okay, I heard that there's a specific brown rice.
Mm-hmm.
What tree is that?
Where it may be, everywhere you go, there's a good brown rice. What makes what do we need from the brown rice is the vitamin B6, the B complex in general, which is usually on the bran of the rice. When they are polishing the rice to make it white, the bran that is there that we buy to feed our chickens, that is the one that is very high in B complex, including B6. Now, whether you're using Kilombero, Fire, Basmati, all of them they have that. Only that some are glorified, like Basmati from India, they say it's got more B complex than the other. But we have used it with the Kilombero brown rice. It works just as good. Mm. Oh, the foods that are good for detox. The fruits. I was saying that in general, when you are doing a detox, the only fruit that you can use, I think it's lemon and grapefruit. The manyuma, what they call manyuma. I don't know what they call it here, but in the southern region they call it manyuma. The big orange that is very sour than the lemon. Yeah, grapefruit. Those are the kind of things, not the South African hybrid ones that are now getting sweeter, because it's the bitter one, and the bitter the better. Those are the ones that you can use. But the rest of the fruits, you don't use them during detox. Mm. Yes. Yeah. I think it's about the bad and the good. So killing the colon by drinking, some herbal something that will flush out the colon, it works, but it is not as effective as the enema. Because those herbs, what we have realized, they clean what is on their way as they are coming out. Now, enema reaches the pockets because your colon is it's like a balloon. Now, when you are constipated, you are eating all these mandazi, chapati, whatever thing that they get stuck in the colon. That balloon goes like this. It will become bigger here, and it becomes thin, bigger and thin. So these pockets that are on the side, they are the one that keeps stuff. So you can drink a colon cleanser. It will use the passage that is, it will clean what is on its way out, but it will not clean the pockets. Now enema dissolves those pockets and allows everything to come out. So the cleansers inside, they are good, but the enema is best. Yes.
Sorry. I just wanted to clarity on the coffee method. We believe that coffee has got caffeine and all that. And how safe are we? And also, maybe you could also repeat the process. How do we go about it? I think I missed the process of the using the coffee.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that is very true. Coffee has caffeine, And that is the only time when caffeine is actually used as a medicine. In fact, what it dissolves the poison in the colon, these feces is actually the caffeine. So caffeine is bad when you're using it as a diet, but you can use it to clean your colon. Just like the hot chilies. Hot chilies, the kapiripiri. You take them inside, it's unhealthy, but you can use it to treat arthritis by making a poultice on your knees, and it will take the pain away. So there are things that may not be useful in certain times, but they can be used as cures. Hmm.
About enemas and cleansers, we are also told that they are oral enemas. Are they cleansers or they are also enemas?
Oral enemas meaning something that you take through the mouth,
Yes.
and then they call it an enema. Hmm? The what? Oh, you mean like really putting something through the mouth, like the way they do with the, what do we call it? Endoscopy. Something like that.
Okay, there's a drink, they mix salt, what, I have forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Then you drink that liquid.
Mm-hmm.
They also call it enema, oral enema. How
Okay.
true is that? It's been confusing.
Oh, thank you. Maybe that's a marketing way when one can call something in the Gabansi. You see, it can just be marketing word because enema, it means something that is entering your body. So it could just be some marketing ways for their product. That they are trying to convince you that their product is just as good as using the actual enema. That's maybe the message they are trying to communicate. Okay, because of time, let's do this first. If we still have time, then we can we can take more questions. But for now, let's do the demo first because we have about the 40 minutes, about 20 minutes, not 40 minutes.
I just also want to comment on enemas. Some people, they lose more water than they will really detox the body. I remember one time I took stamata. Have you heard of stamata? It's a drink. When you drink it, you can go to the toilet the whole night. And in the morning, you see yourself, you are what? Dehydrated. So sometimes these other concoctions that we take to flush the colony, instead of flushing the colony, we lose more water and we become dehydrated. And you said, I think I'm feeling okay. I'm fine. I've detoxing the what? The body, when actually you are just dehydrating yourself. Okay, let's go to our cooking demonstration now. When Gandy was speaking, he talks about the beetroot. So in this plate, as you can see, we have got beetroot, grated beetroot, and he also mentioned about the lemon. Unfortunately, us here in Malawi, we don't have a culture of eating beetroot. I visited some families. They planted this beetroot, and they didn't know what to do with it. And what they were doing, they were just using it as a spice to make the soup pink, or to make it as if it has got a lot of tomatoes. And instead of putting the tomato, they just put a what? A beetroot. But we can enjoy beetroot in different ways. As you already said, we can cook our beetroot, and then we peel the skin, you grate it. You add your lemon, and then you keep it. If you have got a fridge, you refrigerate it. Then after some time, when you're having your lunch or your dinner, you take your beetroot and you enjoy. If you want to make it a bit sweeter, some they add a little bit of honey to give it a certain taste. Or you can make beetroot juice. I know Mrs. Mandula sometimes she likes to make mango and beetroot juice as a way of eating beetroot. So beetroot, we can eat it in different ways. And now we have this vegetable. It's called shushu. I think it's a Japanese name. Have you ever eaten this kind of? It's also one of the excellent vegetable. It grows like spongy. It's not difficult. You can grow it everywhere. You just put it somewhere, but don't put it near the tree that you love because it will engulf the whole tree. So you just put it, it will grow, it will climb the tree, and it will engulf the whole tree. He already said it's good for diabetic. And this vegetable, I think it's one of the saver because you can cook it in different ways. You can make juice with it. You can cook it, kutendera. You creamed it with nsinjiro, grounded nuts, right? You can cook it with nsinjiro. You can do your stir fry. You cut it like this, the way I've cut it this one. Have you seen? You peel it and you cut it like this one, and then you can have your green beans, your carrots, your onion, and then you can stir fry. But if you are sick, or let's say you is a cancer patient or someone who wants to detoxify the body, then it's good not to stir fry because once we are burning the oil, it becomes oxidized or some free radicals or all those things happen when the oil is overheated. So it's good to steam. We can do steaming. You can steam with water, or if you have got a steamer at home, you can steam the vegetables. But if you want it to taste better, after steaming, it's cooked, it's done. Then you add just your teaspoon or your tablespoon of olive oil. You add it in your vegetables, and you take it to the table. In that way, the food will be used as a therapy. At the same time, tasting good as food. So you can also use it in salads. You can grate it the way I grated this one in small pieces. You grate your carrots, you can put your peppers, and you make salad. It's also very excellent. And when you are treating the patient with cancer, or you just want to eat healthier, more healthier, it's also good to add garlic in your food. Whether in salads, you can eat fresh garlic in salads, or else we can stir fry our vegetable together with the garlic. It's very good for our healthy. I believe also he talks about good fats like the pumpkin, the avocados. The avocados are also very good for our healthy, also very good when it comes to detoxifying the body. So these are the foods that must be found on our tables every day. The grains, the vegetables, we need to have lots of vegetables on our tables. And the grains, the whole wheat grains. I think yesterday, 2 days ago, we were dealing more with the grains, right? We did the waffles from sorghum and seeds and nuts. We also did the waffles from oats. So those are the grains that we can be using in the morning. And also, we should not forget to take the seeds. I think the first day we did more on the seeds. Who remembers, who can remind us how we have to eat our seeds? Anyone? Seeds. We sprinkle on salads. We add it to smoothies, cookies. So we find out that there are different ways in which we can use to enjoy eating our seeds, at the same time using them as medicine to heal the body. And also we talked about cooked vegetable. I think here I was talking about the steaming one are better. And when we are treating the patient, we should avoid using too much oil. If anything, we can use no oil at all. For example, you want to stir fry your vegetables, as I was saying. The best way is just to steam them and to put your oil after the vegetables are cooked, even the beans. Sometimes we want to make them nice and we fry the tomatoes, the onions, to make the beans tasty, right? But when you are doing it to a patient, someone who is sick, and you don't want to give them the oil that has been boiling for a long time, a long period of time, it's better to cook the beans as they are. You can add your onion and your spices. When the beans are done and you want to take them from fire, and you're using the healthy oils, it's good to put the oils after the beans are what? Are done. So whatever we are cooking, if you want to make it tasty with the oils, it's good to put the oils afterwards when the food is already cooked and you are just putting the oil for a tasty, not to overcook the oil so that it becomes toxic to the body as well. Yeah. Any other question from now? Any other questions? And you know what happens sometimes, because we are well, we are not sick, and we are used to eat anyhow the way we eat. We just enjoy, right? We just cook. Like myself, I just cook sometimes. Take the oil, put the oil, and the oil is burning. And because I'm not sick, I feel innocent about it. But it's not. I think Brother Owen, as he was presenting on health reform, it rebuked me a lot as well, because sometimes we know these things, but we take things for granted. Instead of putting them into practice, we do our own way. At the same time, we are also destroying the temple of God, which is our what? Our body. And by doing that, we are deforming the health reform. We are doing the same as everyone is what? Is doing out there, yet we stand as judges to judge the people that are eating other foods that we are not eating, yet we are also spoiling the same body that God wants us to take care of. Any other questions? I think because of our time, I just wanted to explain and to show you the things that we can use. I don't know how many minutes we have. If we have to stir fry something here, we can also do it, but if there are no questions. Any question? It seems there are no questions. Someone said, okay, we want to cook. Okay, so I think I can put the mic down now so that we go there, right? Okay, thank you. You know how to switch it on? Okay, as we are waiting for the match, I also want to say that food should be tasty, and for food to be tasty, we need to invest in equipment, right? Whether we are in the country or in the city, we need to invest on equipment. Equipments like blender, like this one. It looks so small, but it does a lot in the kitchen. It does my. It does a lot in the kitchen. It does a lot in food presentation. It does a lot in making our food nice. So we need to invest in the kitchen. We need to have the blender, the coffee grinder if we want to eat good food and also healthy food. So tisamaone kuluza. Don't think as if you're losing when you're buying the kitchen equipment. They are actually very good. I know men and women, we have different likes when it comes to kitchen utensils, right? Not so. But I think we can all have the same mindset, because we all eat. We all eat and we all want to be healthier. So here is our pan. I'm putting it here on fire. And I've got water in my hand. I'll put half of it. We just want to steam our vegetables. So we have got this. It's called shushu, but in other ways it's called chayote. Chayote. You can Google it. Chayote or cook or shushu. So you can mix all the ingredients together, because we just want to steam our vegetables. some people doesn't like to eat raw garlic, right? They like the garlic when it's what? It's cooked. So we can also put the what? The garlic inside the pot. On salt, I would like to encourage to eat the natural salt, especially the Himalayan salt, the black salt. They are a bit expensive, but they are more healthier than our normal salt, because those ones, they have got lots of nutrients inside them, while our salt, it has got more sodium in it. So when you are using food as medicine, it's good to cook them lightly. They should not get what? They should not get overcooked. And also we want to retain the color of our food. It should be as the same way as we put them in the what? In the pots. And actually they should look nicer, more nicer. So maybe as we are waiting for our mixture to boil, maybe Gandy, you can add something.
Okay, as I said, I think the other day, you've learned that most of the foods that are medicinal, they are not popular and they don't have nice names. What is the name of this? Shushu. And there's something they call it zinkanyanga. Most of the good food, they don't have nice names. So don't be discouraged by those, because it's this thing that we don't eat more often that are actually very, very medicinal. And this is actually one of the excellent vegetables you can give to someone who is diabetic, or even people who are battling with cancer, and even those of you who are trying to lose weight. It is just an excellent one. And it should also be good for people with a high blood pressure because of its potassium content. Now, I must be honest with you, the first time I ate this, I never liked it. Or when I saw it in the plate because of the name Shushu. I was not like, Shushu. I remember I told my wife, just dish a little bit, let me taste it first. But I ended up eating it more than everybody else. When it's well cooked, it is nice and delicious. You can also cook it like with the peanut sauce, kutendela, the same way we do with the other vegetables like zinkanyanga, pumpkin leaves. You can cook in that traditional way. I actually like it more that way. Now, but if you're using it as a therapy, then I encourage you not to use the peanuts, but rather to use the pumpkin seeds sauce, pumpkin seeds in Singilo. That is actually because you want to get the zinc and the selenium from it, but also the quality amino acids that you get from the pumpkin seeds. So using the pumpkin seed sauce is much more therapeutic than using the peanut sauce. That's what I can add on this.
Before I forget, I also wanted to say that we should get used to this habit of using herbs as spices, right? Because herbs are also medicinal. So we have lots of herbs. We have the coriander, we have got parsley, we have got thyme, we have got rosemary. And fortunate enough, all these things, they grow well here in Malawi, not so? Yes, they grow well here in Malawi. So let's get the seeds where we can find them and later plant them in our gardens or in this bucket, on our veranda. Malawian women, some of us, we like flowers, not so. We love putting flowers in the bucket and put them, around the home. So instead of just putting flowers, let's put what? Herbs. Yeah, we can even have a kitchen garden. I don't have one yet, but I want to have one. We can design a kitchen garden where all our herbs, all our spices can be there. And when we are cooking, we go and we take our herbs and we add it to the food, because a lot of herbs are very medicinal and they help our body to recover from different kind of illnesses.
Where do you get shushu seeds? I'm not too sure, but what I know, if you want to plant it, you actually plant this fruit. That's what you do. Something will come out at the end here and it will be a plant. So maybe the better way of planting it, you can try to plant it in a container first before you put it in the garden, where you can easily look after it. Once it germinates, once the plant is coming out, you may find a garden where you can now plant it. So it's like the fruit itself, it's also the seed. That's what you plant. Okay.
So these are our steamed vegetables. Just steam them in water. But if you have got a steamer, you can steam them without putting water inside your vegetables. So what I was saying is, you see, these are our vegetables. Do you see when I'm removing them from the pot? How is the color? Yes, it's almost the same, which means that a lot of nutrients are still preserved in the what? In our vegetables. So you cook them just like this, and you remove them from the pot, and then if you have now the olive oil, sorry, I didn't put the salt. You can put the salt of your choice, whether Himalayan salt or whatever salt you like. And then before you eat it, if you want to grease it, this is the time now when you can what? You can use the oil. So you can use coconut oil or you can use olive oil. I will take just a spoon of this oil. This is palm oil. Just a little bit of it, not too much. According to our quantity, maybe even a quarter, it's enough. And then you mix your vegetable. And then you put your vegetables on the table and you eat it like this. It's tasty. It has got the grease, but the oil that it has, it's not what? It's not destroyed with the heat. So it's good to use oil in this way because you don't destroy the what? The oils. Most of the oils that we use, they are already destroyed. The triple refined, the double refined. And what happened when we overheat them? We make them worse, right? Yes, so this is why when we are cooking our foods, especially when we are cooking as medicine, it's not good to heat the oil too much. It's better to use the oil after the food it's already cooked.
Any comment, question from the group, from the class? Any comment, any question?
How do you take the shushu? Do you take it with nsima or with rice?
A good question. She's asking, how do we take the shushu? Do we take it with nsima or rice? My sister, you can take it with anything, everything. It's food actually on its own. You can even cook it together with the banana, the plantains, and you make a complete food. You can also eat it with rice. And the one which we creamed it with the nuts, it's very nice to eat it with nsima. Because it tastes like, I don't know, have you ever eaten green pawpaws? You put the sinjiro, the grounded nuts in green pawpaws. It's very nice. when I was in Seychelles Island, I learned that even you can eat, just to have a pawpaw, you have enough relish. You know, you can even eat, make salads. They were calling it pawpaw chutney. I was like, okay, pawpaw chutney. So they will grate it, they will put the turmeric, they will put this, they will put that, and you know, they will put it on the table and you eat the pawpaw with rice. It was so nice. Huh? You are eating pawpaw chutney. There are a lot of food that we are not using, especially in Malawi. We are so blessed. And you know, Malawians, we are rich. We are very rich because we have got lots of food. We have got lots of resources, but we don't what? We don't use them. Like the way our friends eat moringa, I find that, oh, moringa, it's so very nice. You know, they stir fry moringa, they put the ginger, they'll put the garlic, they'll put the turmeric, and they'll put everything, and you can eat your moringa with rice. So nice. It means we have a lot to eat, but we only eat very few things. Imagine all the foods that God created. Do we know even quarter of it? We don't. Yet we are satisfied just to eat beans, lentils, nkwani, just so. But there are a lot of things that God created for our nourishment. So let's have this habit of trying things. You know, some things we'll try them, we'll not like them, and then we go and find out the recipe, we'll try them again. Before we know, we have got a wider variety of foods on our table. If you go to the markets like in Lilongwe, you find a lot of food, but some of them, it's only the Indians and the Amanians who bought those food, not so. And when we are there, we just pass by. This is not my food. But let's have a habit of buying them, even if we don't know them. But when it's food, let's, you know, try to find out what is it. Can I cook it? Can I make it nice? You know, we'll find ourselves that we'll have a wider variety of different kind of foods on our tables. I think for now, if there are no questions, I think, do you want to comment something?
One last thing. Our time is out. What I can add is some people, they wonder what cooked bananas or cooked papaya, the unripe one, and you eat it with the vegetables. Don't they say that you should not eat fruits and vegetables at the same time? Now, this is the thing. When you are eating plantain which is not ripe, you know, and you cook it and you eat it with relish, it's not the same as eating the plantain which is ripe. When it is ripe, it is high in glucose. That's what makes it to ferment with vegetables. So the unripe bananas, you can eat them with vegetables. The unripe papaya, you can eat it with vegetable. But once the papaya is ripe, you cannot eat it with vegetables. When the banana is ripe, you cannot eat it with vegetables. So don't feel guilty to eat your plantain with vegetables. There is no harm to that, as long as the plantain is the unripe one. All right, I think it's time now. It's exactly 11:15, the time we're supposed to stop. So let me hand over to Eda Mandula to conclude this program.